this area here, between that pole and that pole, back to where I'm at, used to be a really good garden spot. Invested quite a bit of money, put some good soil in here. Had real good corn, real good onions, you name it, peas, beans. It grew really great. Had it all fenced in with electric fence at one point to help keep the deer out. And things were great for a few years. And then all of a sudden something changed. And when we get some heavy rain, this becomes a mush pit. Had some real good potatoes come out of here too. But this area that I'm walking in, when it just turns to muck and stays muck for a week and a half before it dries back out again, everything in the ground rots. So all the time and trouble with planting it, weeding it, taking care of it, you lose all that work. Because it just rots in the ground and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Real disappointing. So I've had to abandon this spot and go to raised beds. So it is what it is. At least the raised beds aren't going to flood out on me. Well, the old garden spot that's in the ground used to be pretty good. But in the last couple of years, it just keeps getting so soggy that whatever I plant can't grow because it rots out. So had to come up with a different plan. So raised beds, I guess, is the plan. These are just 7/8 boarding boards, they call it. Cheapest stuff I get my hands on. Got some 14 footers, cut them in half, so 7 feet tall. Those gonna be the end pieces. 2x4s for corner posts. Got some 8 footers, cut them in half. There's the 14 footers. So I also picked up some linseed oil. Spun around here. Because this is natural oil, it's non-toxic, it's not a bunch of chemicals. So I'm gonna seal the wood up with this stuff. Be nice to be able to plug a few carrots and onions and stuff in the ground this year and not lose all my work. Well, there. That was a lot of work. I got them all covered in oil. There's a couple more planks down on the other set of sawhorses. Now I'm going to mention this for people who can't read directions. On here it says, caution, can cause spontaneous combustion. Tells you how to take care of your dirty rags. So don't leave them sitting on a workbench, don't throw them in the trash, because apparently as they dry, the oil creates heat and the rags could basically catch themselves on fire. So you've been warned on that one. So the old rag I just used, threw it out in the driveway. It's away from everything, it's in the gravel. So if something should catch on fire, it's just gonna burn up in the driveway, but most likely it'll be just fine. The rain is holding off, so I took the chance to come out and get this one put together. Big rock's gonna disappear. I'm gonna bury it right there. So here it is. Seven by 7. I was gonna go 7 by 14, but then I got thinking, well, no, it would probably be more sensible to do 7-foot squares, just for management and planting purposes. So I gotta run some boards around the top here too, because I'm gonna enclose this with chicken wire. Keep the deer out and skunks out. Deer like to eat gardens. So for linseed oil, for this size right here, I used a quart of it. So I got all this done, plus 4 more uprights for the next bed. So if I subtracted those uprights out and called them the top pieces here, it'd be about the same in lumber. So 7x7 with 4-foot posts and a top ring around it, you're looking at roughly a quart. Well, I thought I dried out enough to get up and wheel the tractor. I had this loam here. It's actually a mixed fertilizer loam. Had this for a few years, piled up. I was able to finally get to it and get to this. So I taking advantage before the next 4 or 5 days of rain we're calling for. Try and get this box filled up and start settling down some. So grass has grown over top of this over the years. I just scoop it all up, throw it in the bottom anyway. I don't really care what's down in the bottom. It's just gonna keep rotting and composting and do its thing. Yeah, all the sod crap goes in the bottom and the stuff is in the middle of the pile to top it off. I'm gonna have to pick out a few things like that on the top. No big deal. Here's the compost pile. Nice dirt. Still some stuff in here that hasn't rotted down. It's alright. So I've scooped a bunch out already and kind of goes right out around there a little bit. So between the bed I'm filling now and the other bed I'm gonna build, look at that, got some worms. That's a good thing. So between having 2 beds, I should be able to get all of this in it. And I'm gonna get some pallets set up here to get a new compost pile going. All filled up. That would have taken forever trying to lug that over here in buckets or with a wheelbarrow. So, got a little bit of time to sink down before I can put anything in it. Alright, so I topped off this bed here, I topped off this bed here. I do need to get some center stakes put in here just to help hold those. I wanted to get them filled up so things could be settling down before I threw some seeds in. This afternoon I was able to throw this one together. I'm only going to go 1 high on this one. So the theory is anything for shallower roots we'll throw in here, and anything that needs a deeper root we'll throw in these 2 bigger ones. So I got 3 scoops of compost here. I'm gonna rake it around, spread it out, see what we got. Probably got to throw another 3 or 4 in here, I'm gonna guess. Done. That'll probably settle down over the next 2 or 3 days. Probably gonna throw a little bit more in it before I drop some seeds in. That's okay. So the reason I left 2x4 sticking up instead of cutting them off at the top of the planks, is deer. Up here, the deer would love to get in here and start eating stuff. So I've got some chicken wire that I can fence these in with, so I'm not just putting food in the ground for deer to eat. They can find their own stuff somewhere else.